Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Master the Basics podcast with your girl Esme and your boy Marcus, here to bring you daily life skills when it comes to mastering the basics across all realms of life, whether it comes to faith, fitness, finances, education, relationships, whatever the case may be. We're here to provide that to you as your daily life coaches. In today's topic, we're going to talk about time. How do you manage your time when it comes to your loved ones, self-development, fulfillment, limited time overall, and we're going to dive into that today with you. So, Esme, over to you.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Us Talking Life. As Marcus mentioned, we're going to talk about time. And my first question would be, what does using time wisely mean to you? Because, there are a lot of time wasters out there. So, what's your take on that?
Absolutely. Everybody is given the same amount of time every single day, 24 hours in a day. And how do you manage that time? And I'm a very organized person, a prepared person. OCD, I jot a lot of stuff down. I have daily reminders. I have a daily organizer. I have a routine. And for myself, like you just have to plan out your time. So every single day, Monday through Friday, I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I go to the gym at 5 a.m., work out till 6:30, come home, shave, shower, start getting ready, and then I head into the office around 8 o'clock. All right, so my day is already set off to using my time wisely because a whole bunch of stuff is going to happen throughout the day. That's why I choose to work out in the morning time, where I used to work out in the evening time. But what I found what was happening was in the evening time after I got off work, either I was tired, sluggish, just mentally drained just from work itself, or you have a whole bunch of stuff that comes up and happens throughout the day to where now you got to go handle that when you get off. And then you set aside putting your own self development to the side. So then I would skip a day of working out versus using my time wisely. Okay, if I just get up earlier and knock out all the stuff that I need to do in the morning time, it provided me the luxury of having more free time in the evening, whether it be to spend time with family, whether it be to go run errands, whether it be to help develop side businesses, like all types of stuff that I freed myself up for by just shifting my time around. And that's what a lot of us just have to do is shift your time around to help use it wisely because a lot of us just make excuses at the end of the day. I always hear people say, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to work on a business. I don't have time to spend time with XYZ. When in reality, you do, because a lot of people have the exact same amount of time to watch a 3, 4, 5 hour episode of Netflix or Hulu and watch their favorite season and all these different movies and do all this different stuff. People do what they want to do. So you have to make it a priority and a choice to zone in and focus on how you want to prioritize your time to even use it wisely. So, what about you?
I really like this a lot. I mean, it's similar for me. Also a very well structured and organized person, very OCD myself, and very big on my time. I literally feel sometimes like I'm running out of time with all the things that I have on my to-do list. But again, that's when you really have to start like planning out your day, maybe getting up a little sooner in the day to take care of certain things, and then also have some free time to socialize with people or to, spend time with your family. If you have kids, spend time with your kids in the evening. Do something for yourself, do something good for yourself. Go and grab a coffee somewhere, even if it's by yourself. So definitely big on structuring my days and using to-do lists myself. Um, has helped me a lot, and also has really given me the needed structure to get a lot done and be successful in life, um, at work, um, in my personal endeavors and all that. So that's really key. But using time wisely, besides that, is you know time and health are things you can't get back in life. So I really had to learn how to remove time wasters and time and energy suckers out of my life. You know, toxic people, even friends, I had to part ways with because I just wasn't getting back the time I was investing in them. So yeah, I just wasn't getting back the same treatment. And I realized over time that people pleasing tendencies is only taking a toll on your own life and your own energy and time, basically, and you won't get that back. And I had to really learn how to move away from that. So I'm really big these days to spend a lot more time with my family and my loved ones, my friends, you know. um, I used to really get caught up in my career, work, but really, you are replaceable at work. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't invest the needed energy and time into work, but you need to like draw the line somewhere, and work is always going to be work. If you have a 9 to 5, your job is done that day, unless there's something urgent you still have to finish, then you stop working at 5. I used to be the one for all these years to always put in overtime, always. And of course, time with my loved ones would fall short because of that. So, yeah. And I think the point of realization was when I really came to realize I barely had time for myself at the end of the day. So that's when I knew, okay, I need to change something. Um, yeah, so really like going inwards and being more mindful with my time and reconsidering how I spend it.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue with another question that I'm curious about. Have you actually ever felt behind in life? Like, was there a situation that you would want to speak on and share your learnings and how you dealt with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Feeling behind in life. I would say that stems from my educational background or lack thereof. So I wasn't really good at school growing up. Still not really good at school today. I was always like ADHD. My mind would be all over the place. I can know exactly what something is, how it operates, all that type of stuff. Speak about it, do it, all that type of stuff. But if you put it on a test and a learning environment, my mind would just go blank and I would flunk school, all that type of stuff. Got a football scholarship, went to college for 1 year, hanging out with the wrong people, and wasn't going to school, wasn't applying myself, wasn't in the right mindset back then as well. So I felt behind because I got kicked out of college after 1 year and then came back home, started working all those different types of things, got into the workforce. And I knew a lot of the stuff from what my parents taught me about just work ethic and working harder than everybody else. But I wasn't applying that in school. So I felt behind when it came to getting into real life and the workforce. But what I found out was real life had nothing to do with what I learned in school. So what I mean by that is like when I was in school, you would get comments from teachers growing up, whether it be in third grade, middle school, high school, whatever the case may be, and be like, "Oh, he's in fifth grade, but he's reading at a third grade reading level." You get those type of comments in the school system, or you have to write 11-page essays and all that type of stuff. Well, what I found out in the workforce is I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, he's 25 years old, but he reads at a 22-year-old reading level."
Mm-hmm.
You never hear that after the school system is done.
Mm,
Also, I found out, oh, you don't need to write 11-page essays at work because if you write an email that long, no one's going to read it. No one's going to understand it.
right.
So I was like, all this stuff that we learned in school, like it had nothing to do with real life. So I felt behind, but in reality, I just started mastering the basics, like the name of our podcast, like control the things that you can control. Being on time, being available, prioritizing stuff, like being responsive to emails, phone calls, answering the phone, attention to detail, being adaptive, problem solving, like networking, just meeting people, talking to people, collaborating with people. Like, it's okay to make mistakes. The school system made me feel like I couldn't make mistakes. So I always felt behind because of that, because everything is on a test. You either passed or you failed. There's no in between unless they just wanted to grade your curve and all that type of stuff. So I was like, if I just master the basics and outwork everybody else, because I know I have the work ethic to do whatever it is that you put me in, then I can outperform people. And that's what started to happen. So that's how I dealt with it when I felt behind. And then what I found out is, okay, I started in my corporate job at 20 years old. By the time people were getting out of college at 24 years old, I already had 4 years of experience of what I was doing and had a leg up on them. So that was another thing that I found out where I felt behind when really then they felt behind. They had the educational background and I already had 4 years of experience, and they found that the degree didn't really matter to get into the corporate job. At least here in the US, that's how it operates. Like we care more about experience and what can you do and what value do you bring versus a degree. But you're taught growing up, you need this piece of paper and that it's going to translate to your career. When unless you're just being like a doctor, a lawyer, architect, all those different type of things, like it's not translating. It's not rocket science on what we're doing every single day. So just changing my mindset and literally just mastering the basics on that helped me flourish within all realms of life, not just within the workplace, but from a physical standpoint, a mental standpoint, emotional, spiritual, all those different types of things. I was like, I can do all this stuff myself. Like my reading stuff. I found out that I read better when I read out loud or when I listen to an audiobook versus just sitting there looking at a book and looking at words on a piece of paper. That's when my mind would go all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So just learning how you learn and operate will help you in the future on how to succeed in every single realm of life.
Mm-hmm.
So, how about you?
Yeah, you said a few really good things. I want to quickly add to that before, because my mind is running right now, and I want to say not everyone who has a college degree is a good employee either. Like I've realized that over the years when I was hiring people, and I know for a fact, like, there are great people out there who do master the basics, actually, and who are a much better workforce than those who've never worked before, who've just, like, studied, gotten their bachelor's, their master's, and all they know is theory, but they're not even willing to put in the work because they have the arrogance to say, oh, I've studied all these years. Like, I don't want to put in that hard work. I want to be in a managing position, you know? Like, no, that's not how it works. You all got to start at the bottom when you join corporate. So, um, I really think that definitely if you do master certain things, you're going to be way more successful than having a piece of paper that states you are, I don't know, doctor, professor, or whatever. Um, as for me, Um, maybe two areas in life where I felt left behind in life was like more so towards the end of my 20s, like a few years back, where I was really, really struggling to stomach the fact that my peers are already in a managing position. And I've been putting in all the work for all these years, leading big, massive corporate projects, like number one top management project, where we, for example, reorganized the entire organization. And I was in a leading position there, without the manager title. So, yeah, I've been really like struggling back then with basically making it make sense to me. Um but at some point, like, I let it go because then I had a change in my, my managers changed, and someone stepped in that was my previous vice president, who's actually currently still my vice president, and he saw the potential in me. He saw that I'm putting in the work. He saw that I am a natural leader. So he put me in rooms and positions where I could show that, and all of a sudden I had the next opportunity knocking at the door, and I was able to go to the US. So having gone through that experience, I no longer worry. because I know what I bring to the table, and the right people will see, and the right opportunities will, come my way. And it's all at the right time. And like I learned how to trust God's process and not my plan or my process, because I know everything will happen in the right time and the right spot. So that's one area in life that, I felt left behind for a long time, but I no longer do. And it's really a mindset shift thing. That's what it actually is, because I no longer worry about it, and I'm so much happier because that's not something that's defining me. My job or the title that I have at work is not something that necessarily defines me.
Mhm.
So there's that. And then another area is relationships. Um, you know, Especially at the end of your 20s, you look left and right, a majority of your friends are happy in a relationship, maybe even married with kids. Um, and if you've gone through certain relationships, or you already had like some relationships that, failed at the end, maybe not necessarily in a bad way, because there's always a lessons learned if you realize, okay, you guys are no longer compatible, or someone had to move away to a different country, whatever it is. Like for me, it was like I really started thinking about it a lot, because you always have like that certain image in mind. Oh, by that age I want to be married. Oh, by that age I want to have kids. um so I was really struggling with that for a while, again, until I let go of the ideal thought of when that would have to happen for me, and just trust God and just step into my faith and pray about it and be like, okay, God, like whatever it is that you plan for me, that's going to be like, I put it in your hands, because I know you got the right plan for me. And I just surrender that thought and no longer worry about it. Of course, sometimes, it creeps in, but again, that's when your mindset steps in, and just, to trust God and let it go, and just work on yourself, pour into yourself, do whatever you want to do, and what makes you happy, what fulfills you in your life. Because if you work on yourself, the right people will come into your life. So there is that.
I like that. It's like a gravitational field. You
Mm-hmm.
work on yourself, the right people will come into your life like a magnet. So I did have one final question that I wanted to ask you, and it was about time and energy, and how do you protect your time and energy?
Mm-hmm. That's a good one, actually, to close out. Well, I must admit, this is a tough one to admit. I used to be a people pleaser up until like my mid 20s. Really bad. Again, it's something that's coming from my cultural background, to always having to look perfect on the outside, basically. Be a good person, do good things, never do wrong by people, which that again is a good thing, right? But you still have to observe. Don't be naive. Like you gotta observe how people behave around you. So I did realize at that point in my life, I was like always checking in with people, always trying to like set up a meeting, like to meet up as friends, to go do things with certain people. And then I would be like, huh, do I get that back from these people? I would realize over time I'm not getting as much back, maybe not even anything back, and I would just stop doing that. So I automatically started removing myself from certain type of people, and then also, of course, toxic people who try to like put everything on you. You're always the bad guy. You're always the person who's doing everything wrong. Manipulators, narcissists. So I think that's key to realize who's in your circle and who's doing you not good, and removing yourself. You can save a lot of drama, a lot of energy that you can pour into better things in life, that you can pour into yourself, into the right people in your circle, into your family, into your friends, into your career, into your passions, into your hobbies. We don't have time to waste, because time is limited and you don't get it back. So that's how I protect my time and energy, by all means, and I'm big on that. And if
Yeah.
I realize somebody is stepping or coming into my life thinking that they can waste my time, yeah, they're gonna find themselves to a rude awakening of me removing myself kindly. What
Got
about
to
you?
go.
Right? What about you?
Now, I love everything you just said, and I agree 1,000, 1,000,000%. Like, I'm a lot of the same ways on protecting your time and your energy. And just the older that you get, the more that you just understand about life and the experiences that you've gone through, especially when it comes to people wasting your time or affecting your energy or bringing bad energy. Like, you just don't have time for that anymore the older that you get. And, especially now having a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old kids and all that, like time is more valuable even just with them because you always hear people say, before you know it, they're going to be in high school. Before you know it, they're going to be in college. Before you know it, they're going to be grown. Like it happens quick. Like it felt
Mm-hmm.
like I was just bringing my oldest home from the hospital and it's been 10 years already, that quick. So valuing time and energy is very, very big in my life and keeping the right people around me. Like the people that are my friends now aren't necessarily the people that I grew up with, aren't the people that were friends 20 years ago. Like you outgrow people at times, especially on my spiritual walk and just growing within the word each and every day. You find yourself having more spiritual people around you because of that. Like the stuff that you used to think was cool isn't so cool. You don't need to go out and party all the time. You don't need to go out to the bar. You don't need to go out to
Mm-hmm.
the club. You don't need to smoke and drink and do all these other things that the world will tell you is cool. You're just wasting time. Like, are you doing stuff to actually produce fruit in your life and in other people's lives? And are other people producing fruit in your life to allow you to flourish? Are you speaking positivity or negativity? Like just like me and you, we text throughout the week and positive things at each other. Have a great week. Have a great day. Like even small, simple things helps correlate and change a person's mindset. And the right word at the right time can help a person going through something dark in their life. Like we all go through different stuff. So that's even more of a reason to protect your time and protect your energy because we only have a certain amount of time on earth to even allow us to operate within our purpose and to make a difference and to spend time with the people that we truly love and care about. So that's why misery loves company. Like miserable people
Mm-hmm.
love trying to pull you in and pull you down.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to pull a person down than it is to pull a person up. That's just
Absolutely.
gravity right there. Like, and that happens in every single part of life. People will try to tear you down, whether it be physically or with their words or mentally. Like, they will talk behind your back to your face, make little sly comments that you don't even recognize in the moment. You just go back and think about it. Like, they're really truly being negative towards me or another person, whatever the case may be. And you have to have self awareness about that and slowly remove yourself. Like you can be an associate with a person, but you don't have to be a friend anymore. If I know how you are and you're like that all the time and you're doing nothing but bringing bad energy and bad negativity into my life, I can't be around you all the time. I may be able to be
Absolutely.
around you in passing. It doesn't mean I may cut you out of my life fully, but I know that I can't go where I need to go with you in my life like that primarily all the time. And a lot of my closest friends now are people that I've met over the last 5, 10 years, or even the last year or two. Like people, like you said before, it will pull people towards you. The more energy that you give off, the energy will come back. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of what I've had to do in order to protect my own time and my own energy myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd be like, bye. Bye bye.
Gotta go. It was nice knowing you.
Right. No, I think that's really key, having the self-awareness, but also observing. I've been really observing a lot these days. A lot. A
Yeah,
lot more than in the past. And just take action. Yeah. It's on you, you know? At the end of the day, we got to take accountability to what we allow into our lives.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Agree with all that. So, did you have anything else to add for the people before we wrap up?
I think, we already said a lot of things. Key is really have self-awareness, um, observe people around you, observe how they make you feel, and again, prioritize the important things in life because you won't get the time with your loved ones back. You won't get it back. So why not invest the time and energy into that already now? Like, there's not going to be a perfect moment. Like, it doesn't make sense to wait because if you're always going to wait until you have the perfect moment or time where you can unwind and you have time for people, nobody has time. It's a matter of priorities. And next thing you know, 10 years will pass, 20 years will pass, and then you won't have your loved ones around you anymore, and you're going to regret not having spent enough time with them.
Yeah.
So that's all
No.
I want to say.
Love that. Appreciate everything you said today. And to everyone out there, thank you for tuning in today. Another episode of Master the Basics with the podcast here. We're on a lot of different platforms, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, also on a lot of social media platforms with Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, all of that. So tune in everywhere to listen to the podcast and make sure to catch us in the next episode. We appreciate y'all. We're out.
All right. Bye, y'all.